Hare Krishna, welcome to Atma Media. I'm happy that I'm able to share this video live. And I wanted to continue with the again, I guess. I deleted the other video on this, which is the Sambandha-Abhideya-Prayojana. Sambandha-Abhideya-Prayojana. So I'm gonna do a 10-minute lecture or reading on this, which will help us understand the Sambandha, the Abhideya, and the Prayojana. These are taken from, this information is taken from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the commentaries of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyanangyana Chalakaya Chaksurmilitanjana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swaya Rupa Kadama Hyandadati Swapadam Tikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Manostute Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll do it 10 minutes so people don't, so that somebody can pay attention a little bit on this one. This is lesson 10 on the course of the four Sampradayas. So far we got it to Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So introduction. Vede Shastra Kahe, Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana, Krishna, Prapya Sambandha Bhakti, Praptiera Sadhana. Translation. The Vedic literatures give information about the living entity's eternal relationship with Krishna, which is called Sambandha. The living entity's understanding of this relationship and acting accordingly is called Abhideya. Returning home back to Godhead is the ultimate goal of life and is called Prayojana. Now from Madhya Lila 20.125 we find Abhideya Nama Bhakti Prema Prayojana Purushartha Shiromani Prema Mahadana. Devotional service or sense activity for the satisfaction of the Lord is called Abhideya, because it can develop one's original love of Godhead, which is the goal of life. This goal is the living entity's topmost interest and greatest wealth. Thus one attains the platform of transcendental loving service unto the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The conditioned soul is bewildered by the external and material energy, which fully engages him in a variety of sense gratification. Due to engagement in material activities, one's original Krishna consciousness is covered. However, as the Supreme Father of all living entities, Krishna wants his sons to return home back to Godhead. Therefore, he personally comes to deliver Vedic literatures like Bhagavad Gita. He engages his confidential servants who serve as spiritual masters and enlighten the conditioned living entities. Being present in everyone's heart, the Lord gives the living entities the conscience whereby they can accept the Vedas and the spiritual master. In this way, the living entity can understand his constitutional position and his relationship with the Supreme Lord. As personally enunciated by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, Vedais cha sarvairaham eva vedyaha. Through the study of Vedanta, one may become fully aware of his relationship with the Supreme Lord and act accordingly. In this way, one may ultimately attain the platform of loving service to the Lord. It is the living entity's best interest to understand the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, the living entities have forgotten. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nate vidu swartagatim hi Vishnum. Everyone wants to achieve life's ultimate goal, but due to being absorbed in material energy, we waste our time with sense gratification. Through the study of Vedic literatures, of which the essence is Bhagavad Gita, one comes to Krishna consciousness. Thus one engages in devotional service called Abhideya. When actually developed, love of God is called Prayojana. The living entity's ultimate goal, when one becomes fully Krishna consciousness, is attain the perfection of life. So, as we can see, we have already defined the three aspects in two different forms, explained by in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and explained by Srila Prabhupada. Now we're going to Sambandha directly from Madhya Lila 25.114. Aham mevas loke aham tinabara punashvarya srivigrahara stitira nirdara. In the beginning, aham eva, the word aham is expressed three times. In the beginning, there are the words aham eva. In the second line, there are the words paskat aham. At the end are the words sosmi aham. This aham indicates the Supreme Person. By the repetition of aham, the transcendental personality who is complete with six opulences is confirmed. From Madhya Lila 25.115, we find the following. Impersonalists do not accept the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead is stressed in this verse in order to impress upon them the necessity of accepting Him. Therefore, the word aham is mentioned three times to stress something important. Once repeats it three times. It's just like when we offer our food to Krishna, we go three times. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Paramanityananda, we repeat it three times, and then we also repeat Hare Krishna three times at the end, because it's important. It's three times, meaning that you actually want to do it. So, from Madhya Lila 25.116, it says, the actual spiritual knowledge and its practical application are considered in all these sound vibrations. Although the external energy comes from me, I am different from it. Madhya Lila 25.117 says that sometimes a reflection of the sun is experienced in place of the sun, but its illumination is never possible independent of the sun. 645, 655. So Madhya Lila 25.118, it says that when one is transcendentally situated, he can perceive me. This perception is the basis of one's relationship with the Supreme Lord. Now let me further explain this subject matter. Madhya Lila 25.119. What appears to be truth without me is certainly my illusory energy, for nothing can exist without me. It is like a reflection of a real light in the shadows, for in the light there are neither shadows nor reflections. And then we continue with Madhya Lila 25.132, saying that the actual truth is known by the self-realized souls as unified identity. Known by different names in personal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and Bhagavam. Those are the three aspects of Krishna: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavam, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we continue with the translation of 25.133. Before the cosmic manifestation was created, the created propensity was merged in his person. At that time, all potencies and manifestations were preserved in the personality of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is the cause of all causes, and he is the all-pervading, self-sufficient person. Before the creation, he existed with his spiritual potency in the spiritual world, wherein various Vaikuntha planets are manifest. Madhya Lila 25, 134. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the Purusha avatars. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In every age, he protects the world through his different features when this world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. 25.135 says that this is one eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now please hear about the execution of devotional service. This principle pervades all of the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's Abhideya. So now we go to another explanation of Abhideya according to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita 25.120 says, now please hear from me about the process of devotional service, which is applicable in any country, for any person, at all times and in all circumstances. So, Abhideya Sadhana Bhaktira Sunaha Vichara Sarvajana Desha Kala Dashate Vyakti Yara. So now please hear from me about the process of devotional service. It's applicable, says, in any country and any person in all circumstances. Madhya Lila 25.121 explains that as far as religious principles are concerned, there is a consideration of the person, the country, the time, and the circumstance. In devotional service, however, there are no such considerations. Devotional service is transcendental to all considerations. On the spiritual platform, said Srila Prabhupada, the four principles are Jnana, Vijnana, Tadanga, and Tat Rahasya. Knowledge and realization. And Tadanga and Tat Rahasya. So rules and regulations. And rules, regulations and restrictions are on the material platform, but rules, regulations, and restrictions are on the material platform. But on the spiritual platform, one has to be equipped with transcendental knowledge, which is above the principles of religious ritual. 25.122 says that Sarva Desha Kala Dasaya Janera Kartavya Guru Pase Shai Bhakti Prastavya Strotavya. It is therefore the duty of every man in every country, in every circumstance, and at all times to approach the bona fide spiritual master, question him about devotional service, and listen to him explain the process. This reminds me of the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where it says, Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnastatva darshinaha. So basically, it comes out to a similar position on that. So Madhya Lila 25.123, we find that a person interested in transcendental knowledge must therefore always directly and indirectly inquire about it to know about the all-pervading truth. About the all-pervading truth. Madhya Lila 25.136. Being very dear to the devotees and sadhus, I am attained through unflinching faith and devotional service. This Bhakti Yoga system, which gradually increases attachment for me, purifies even a human being born among the dog eaters. That is to say, everyone can be elevated to the spiritual platform by the process of Bhakti Yoga. And with this, I end my 10 minutes of this short lecture on Abhideya, on Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. And just to finish, let me go back to the first verse. And it says that the very literature gives information about the living entity's eternal relationship with Krishna. The relationship with Krishna is called Sambandha. The living entity understanding of this relationship and acting accordingly is called Abhideya. And returning home back to Godhead is the ultimate goal of life, and it's called Prayojana. And with this, I'll finish. So Hare Krishna. And tomorrow, I'm planning to start another, maybe, let's see, another book. But I will continue with the 4 Sampradayas. The next, this is lesson 10, and we'll go to lesson 11. So Hare Krishna, and God bless you all.